Hello and welcome to Roll for Review, where we are going to look at the very best tabletop role-playing games in crowdfunding. This week, we're going to look at Kickstarter campaigns that launched at the second half of February. And for our special fun finds at the end of the episode, this is the very last time that we will be talking about zines because Zine Quest is over. I know.
I'm kind of sad. It was so fun.
Zine Quest was. This was the first time I seriously paid attention to Zine Quest, and it was bad for my wallet. It was very bad for my wallet.
Joe, is it every week we do this show bad for your wallet?
Yes, but Zine Quest was especially harsh, right? Anyways, I'm Joe. I am the creator of The Wanderer's Guide, and I help manufacture, produce, and fulfill board games and tabletop products for a living. Also, I am addicted to backing games on Kickstarter.
Hello, humanoids. I'm Hannah, also known as Halfling Hannah, and I am a forever DM, and I create DM resources over on YouTube, Patreon, and my website, halflinghobbies.com.
And I am Alex, designer and marketer for The Wanderer's Guide, and an everyday RPG gamer and player.
And this is Roll for Review. This is a live stream where the three of us collect TTRPG related Kickstarters like a night hag collects dreams, and then show off the very best ones to you. So what's going to happen is each one of us has chosen 3 Kickstarters to present to you. We're going to go over exactly what that Kickstarter is, who's made it, what we feel like is the best value for it, and then give it a roll for review. This is the roll that we feel that this Kickstarter has earned on a D20, and we're going to add modifiers, both bonuses or negatives, depending on the Kickstarter as a whole. And then, like Joe said, we always do a fun find at the end for February, through these episodes of February. It's been zines, the fun, crazy, off-the-wall zines that we find just absolutely addicting. So that is where we are going to start tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who end up loving what you hear, we show up here every other Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central. And there are also going to be links for all of these projects in the description of the video on our YouTube channel, so you can check it out there. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. If you have to jump out now or throughout the middle of the episode, you can catch up, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I pose a question to both of you before we get this going. Is this show fueling my addiction, or is this my AA? I have to know. Like,
I think it filters your addiction, so it ensures you make the better choice within your addiction. So at least it's allowing you to be like, at least I know my decisions are based on looking through the pages effectively and understanding what makes this good.
Is this like leveling up addiction? Like, this is high quality addiction here.
HQ addiction. That is a new campaign we're gonna write at HQ addiction.
There you
It'll
go.
be in Zine Quest next year.
Look for it next year, next February, 2022. All right, Joe. Well, you're up first, though. What have you brought for us?
Speaking of projects that I have backed and spent a lot of money on, the very first project that I am going to talk about is City of Winter, a handmade scroll and map unfurl to reveal a fantasy story game of one's family's quest to find home in a city of strangeness and wonder. By the way, I forgot I have props. I'll be right back.
Oh my god. It has to be a map. Guarantee. If it's not a map.
Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry.
Got a map.
So I have props, all right? First of all, this is a project by Ross Cowman. This is his 11th project. Most people will know him as the creator of Fall of Magic, and he's sort of an indie RPG celebrity. He is very famous in the indie RPG world. I've gotten to know him a little bit over the years. He makes really cool, interesting, unique stuff. Very focused on storytelling role-playing games, okay? This project is already funded. So it has a little over 500 backers. It just launched a couple days ago and has $73,000, okay? I'm super excited to talk about this project because here's what it is. It is a story game about tradition and migration. Okay, so that's what this is. There is no GM, but as players, what we're going to do as we sit around the table is we are going to build a family, okay, and the generations of this family as we play through multiple sessions will pass from life into memory and will become the traditions of the future generations of our family as we go through the process of migrating through the world, getting to the city of winter, and establishing our own family's hold within the city, okay? One thing that I want to talk about is, so this is a follow-up game or a sister game. It's not like an expansion or a second edition, but this is a game that is based in the same collaborative world as Fall of Magic. So Fall of Magic is a really amazing product. And one thing that I want to share with you is when you get this game, in City of Winter is Ross's second, like what we would call his scroll game. So it comes with this beautiful scroll that is made from like quality fibers and has like wooden dowels.
Oh, wow.
And as you play the game, you unscroll. I'm just going to cover my face. Look at this. You unscroll this. And it creates this tapestry of places you can go, things you can interact with. So yeah, it's a map.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Different map.
Yeah, and so it's just absolutely beautiful. It has such character. It feels so amazing. You get these amazing like metal, huge metal coin tokens to like represent the different people in the game and different effects and stuff like that. It's just really amazing to just sit around with this beautiful scroll in front of you and just tell a fantastic story with your friends, to talk about this from a generational aspect as this family is traveling around. This just seems like such a unique experience. It seems like something that is truly special, where not only the game design but the components and the production, there's such quality and such care and attention to detail that's put into so many aspects of this game that I think it's something that if you are somebody who has only played like D&D 5e or only been playing like the top of the just the top of the iceberg of what role-playing games have to offer, something like Fall of Magic or City of Winter would be an amazing step into indie RPGs that you might not be ready for, but it would be something that if you're interested in doing something that's a little bit different, a little bit more outside of your comfort zone as a D&D player, this is something where I could highly suggest you. It's going to be money well spent. It's going to be a very unique and special experience. But beyond all of that, the product that you're going to get is going to be like heirloom quality and something that you're going to be proud of to have in your collection, right? Like,
yeah, it's cool just to have. And just to pull out and show people.
It seems like,
yes.
Or if somebody said, I just finished playing Oregon Trail, I'm going to make this into a next level RPG.
Oh my gosh, yes. Are there snakes on there? Can you die from dysentery?
Dysentery, yeah.
Is that how you pass into memory?
I mean, it's a storytelling game, so I'm sure you can, absolutely.
Yes! I'm in.
Magical flying snakes. So this is the game that, like, when you have like a bunch of RPG books or a big game collection, like a bunch of us have, right? This is one of those games where people come over to your house and they're like, oh man, look at all this stuff. And you're like, you want to see something cool? Come look at this.
Mm-hmm.
This is really cool. And you can just pull out something like this and it just kind of blows people's minds, right? Just like with how amazing it is. So this is really cool. I also
Neat.
think that this could very easily be something that maybe we play on a stream at some point once we do some more live play, since it is a very story-driven game.
Yeah.
I think that would be something that would be really cool. But yeah, let's talk about what the value of this product is. So this is not a cheap game. Fall of Magic is a high dollar item, and of course it's worth it after you hold it and touch it and feel it. But if you want the scroll version of this game, so they have a travel scroll, the metal tokens, the components, and they have a gigantic cloth map of that is actually the city of winter. That's going to run you $125. So it's a bit steep. But one thing that Ross is doing with this project, which is a little bit different than he did with Fall of Magic, is he's actually creating a more of a low cost version of the game, which has all of the same components, except the scroll, which is the very expensive item, is a wire bound book. So you have like a little booklet, and you can just like flip the pages, kind of like just like a spiral bound book. You know what I'm talking about. Alex can show a picture of it on the Kickstarter. But that only cost $45. So that is that's definitely, you can decide like how much do you really want to be in for this, right? So I have to give this, I mean, this is such a unique project, right? So I really wrestle with it a bit, with what I wanted to score it. So, I mean, what do you guys think as far as like something like this goes? Like, it's such a unique product, right? This is not a 5e supplement. This is something that's very
it's really
unique.
different.
What I do think was a really good call on their part was introducing the lower cost version without the scroll, because I think with this kind of project you have a lot to offer, but then you kind of put yourself in a box when it's an upgrade, and that's really all that makes it the change. It's a beautiful upgrade, but if that's your only price point, instead of bringing it back to make it a little bit more affordable, then you miss that opportunity. But because they have that, I think that should go in its favor of backing this and in its score.
Yeah.
It is very different. So when you say indie RPG, this is definitely indie RPG. This idea of telling a story that's multi-generational, that isn't just a cut and dry beginning end type thing. So this is kind of niche. This is a different kind of player too. So not that that's negative, just that as far as the broad audience appeal, it's a little more specialized, we'll put it that way, but not so much so that it's hurting it. I mean, it's almost it's at $73,000. Yeah, it is beautiful. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous and a really cool concept. Like, I've never seen anything like it.
I would definitely play it.
Yeah.
So I gotta give it a roll.
Give it a roll.
I'm gonna give this a solid 18. The 18 is because it is a really well done campaign. You know what you're getting. There's definitely a brand here that you can trust, that you can really feel as you go through the page. You know exactly kind of what this is about. They're not trying to like hide behind smoke and mirrors. They're saying this is a specialty product. Here's what it is. But I'm also going to give it a +1 because these components are so cool, right? Like, you do not see a product like this every day. And so just because of going that extra mile, I'm going to give this a +1. So final score, 19. I really, really like this one. It kind of felt...
It's very cool.
Excuse me. I kind of fell in love with it. So maybe I'm a little biased here, but yeah, I'm going to give it a 19.
It's a solid score.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's really good. So moving on to mine, my first one of the night is Vault of Magic for 5th edition. And if you are familiar with D&D at all, then you immediately recognize who it is that created this. It is Kobold Press. They are an excellent, like, they're just solid. They're awesome. They've done lots of stuff with wizards. And they have actually brought along kind of like an all-star cast here. to contribute to their Vault of Magic. But overview on here, it's at what?
Cobalt
Oh, is that by
Press.
Cobalt? There you go. Yeah. So they're at almost $300,000 pledged for this out of their 50,000 goal. They've got over 5,000 backers to this. This is Cobalt Press. Like, you know, it's going to be good. It's going to be quality. It's like D&D quality. Like, that's what they do. And the cool thing about this is it is 800 magical items.
Whoa, okay.
800 in here. And they're not just like those specialty magical items that you would find in like a boss pit or something. Nope, there's legendary ones all the way down to mundane ones that are just, you know, ones that you could use on a daily basis. Beautiful art to it. They have a special edition here where you can get a leather bound foil pressed version of this book for a mere $599. Only 10 of them being printed. 8 have already been claimed, so 2 people out there, you can have your specialty version of the Vault of Magic for a bargain price. Yeah, thankfully, that isn't their starting level. So you can get, and this is actually the one that I would suggest, for $39, you can get the PDF that also has a version where you can choose not roll for review. You can choose Roll20. You can choose Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, or a Shard, and you can automatically incorporate all those magical items into that system for online gameplay. So you can search through magical items and find things that you want, do the random generator thing, all that, which is what I would do. I would use mine for Fantasy Grounds. If you are a book nerd, like a couple of us are on this show, then the $49 mark is where it's at. And I don't have anything bad to say about this. This is just solid. It's useful. They have a whole bunch of people that are in the community that have contributed to this. I mean, Luke Gygax is on here, Gary Gygax's son. He's a contributor on here. There's just lists and lists of people that are very, very well known in this community that have contributed to this book, which make it super, super cool. So, yeah, what do you guys think? You want a Vault of Magic?
Yes.
I'm backing at $49 already.
One thing I think this is really, really cool. However, I would love to see some of those 800 items. Yeah.
So you get just the one page. The only page that you get out of it is the armor and weapons one. Yeah.
Obviously.
And there are some resources.
Anyway,
yeah, there's some resources that say what's in this tome. Check out Design Chats with Luke Gygax and Lauren Urban and the Design Chat. And so they have other resources on here. But yeah, I'm the same way. I would like to see those on the Kickstarter page, maybe a couple of those. But...
Yeah, no, I mean, with such beautiful art and obviously...
Oh yeah, because you know it's going to be gorgeous.
You know it's going to be gorgeous. And obviously they're almost at $300,000. But they might have already hit $300,000 if somebody saw some of the example items on there. You know,
just saying.
I just want to say one thing I would like to see as a dungeon master. If they're releasing a book with 800 magical items, you know what they should have as an add-on?
Cards.
Why don't they have cards?
I have the exact same set, and I love them.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a book with 800 cards,
they have a leather bound edition. That's why they chose that instead of cards. I don't know what to say.
Well, I mean, if just saying. I'm already backing for $49. If there was a pledge for $59 and you got with the cards, I'm in. If it was $65, I'd probably be in.
Still worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So their add-ons, I don't really have any other than the extra stuff from other people. Yeah. So this one's just straight up book. That's what you get with this one.
Straight up book.
And I mean, it's a straight up book. There's your quote of the night.
This is
and
a
it's
tool.
Super useful.
Yeah, this is a tool for the library. Absolutely.
I saw one for you, which should be on here, which was witchy concoctions, Joe.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there are some witchy concoctions that should come out of this.
So what are you thinking for the roll?
For the roll, it's Cobalt Press. It's gonna be good. It's solid. It's useful. It doesn't blow me away for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but I'm like, oh, sweet, another very useful tool.
Yeah.
It's not like, Wow. It's just like
Yeah.
more it's more stuff, right? And
Yeah.
more stuff is good,
Yeah.
but it's not like the thing that knocks you off your, off your feet.
Yeah, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking that. So what I was thinking here was I thought 18 because it is solid, but I was like, but it's missing that wow factor in it for me for some reason. So I'm actually gonna knock it down to a 16. I think
That's solid.
utilitarian. If you pledge this, you are so gonna get your money's worth. Guarantee 800 magical items by Kobold Press. It's gonna be great. But yeah, it doesn't, as my husband says, doesn't blow my skirt up. I don't know where he got that, but he says all the time.
So question though, and this is an important question for you, Hannah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite magical item to give a party when you're DMing?
Oh, it depends on the party. Because I like to give magical items based on personalities and what I think they might do with things. And so cursed items are always a big winner for me. I have a homebrew cursed item, which is a teddy bear that they can use once per day to cast Globe of Invulnerability. But once they cast that, the teddy bear has to recharge, and they don't know how long it takes to recharge. What they don't know, and players, earmuffs if you're listening here, what they don't know is that the teddy bear actually has to go and kill someone in order to restore that Globe of Invulnerability. So they've just been, there's these murders that keep following them, and they don't know why.
Teddy kill.
Yeah,
oh
my players just got themselves a bag of holding because I figured we've been playing for like 6 months, so I just gave them a bag of holding.
Yeah, they deserve it.
And Alex got a so I'm excited to see what they do with it because I've never introduced that into a campaign before, so I'm really excited to see like what they're gonna use that for.
One idea we had was one of our fellow players wants to retire their character because they were playing them in another group as well, so they want to start a new character. So I was like, just have them fall into the bag of holding, never to be seen from again.
I have one player who's obsessed with finding kobolds to put in the bag of holding because he thinks it would be so cool to just pull out kobolds. What he doesn't realize is that there's no air.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say because one of our fellow players has a little gnoll army that's slowly being built. And that would have been a solid way to like just casually
so he would just end up pulling out like 10 kobolds.
I love it.
Well, yep. So anyway, that's fun.
I am going to move on to to my first project, which is Minds of Maznar, and this is a very specific niche project for those of us in the 3D printable area of D&D, which is becoming extremely popular. With the introduction of low-cost 3D printers. For example, you can get a low-cost 3D printer on Amazon for about $200, and that's a resin printer, so they do really, really well. So what Minds of Maznar is, they are 3D printable. It's a 3D printable D&D adventure, high-quality 3D printable STL miniatures and terrain, accompanied with an adventure. So they have 3D models with the adventure that it comes with. And it's absolutely so cool. I think it's an amazing idea to add that to your adventure and have that be extra immersive. It has 538 backers already, and it surpassed its goal of $601, and it's already at $18,793. So it's doing very, very well. This is by The Printing Goes Ever On. It's their first ever Kickstarter campaign. And just some of these beautiful, I mean, the first picture here is this beautiful painted gate, this model that somebody printed and painted. I'm assuming somebody on their team, and it is gorgeous. So I am someone who has a 3D printer, and if I were to ever DM or have sessions at my house, I would have 3D printed parts everywhere. Everything would be 3D. I would print as much terrain as I possibly could. And they have this, like I said, there's a story that goes along with this. So, for example, hundreds of years ago, the underground halls used to echo with the sounds of hammer against steel, pickaxe against rock, and deep rumbling chant of dwarven kinsmen. Now it's your turn to enter the abandoned mines of Maznar and face the terrors within. So it's almost like a Mines of Moria style from
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. And there's these amazing miniatures that are so cool. They credit the people who've actually painted the miniatures for their campaign, which is great to see. And there are so many awesome different miniatures to choose from. They even offer a free miniature to download in good faith, just right on their page. And it's such a really cool idea. Then there's a bunch of different rewards. The core bundle gets you 10 medium-sized miniatures, 5 large, and 1 gargantuan. There's a cave kraken. There's a core bundle and stretch goals, which is 20 miniatures and 11 large, 1 huge kraken, 1 large Baylor with weapons, a dwarven bridge, a railway system, 6 other terrains. So here's what the core bundle costs. The core bundle is $25
Hey.
with the adventure and the models. To
Oh,
get
that's cool.
every single model, it's $31 with the adventure. This is
Dude, that's
absolutely a
great.
deal.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. They're really cool too.
Are you on the image of the Baylor that's spinning around?
I'm scrolling down through some of the Kraken right now. This is the cave Kraken spinning. We're looking at the giant spider. Some of these models are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get down
so
to the spinning
cool.
Baylor. Are you get to the spinning Baylor?
I'm getting
'Cause-
there. I'm getting there.
Because we gotta take a look at them butt cheeks. That they put a lot of detail into those butt cheeks.
Oh my god.
He's wearing like a lava speedo, which is a unique thing. Like that's a unique way to get around like
Where's the spinning Baylor?
genitalia.
Yeah.
It's at the very bottom underneath all of the tier
Speedo.
4 monsters.
Oh my goodness. All
Yeah.
the way at the bottom. Yeah, I was trying to scroll through these while I talked, but now there's so much that it's
Anyways,
this
So-
is just there's so much to offer here, and they show so many pictures of print testings, painted prints, model DIYs. There's a full image of the bridge. This is just such a cool project to me. And again, it is niche because it's for 3D printing, and that's most of it, right? Along with the adventure that I will, it was written by Christoph Waltz, critically acclaimed. I don't know if it's that's the Christoph Waltz.
so I want to say something about this project real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give people a little look behind the scenes for a little look behind the scenes here over at Roll for Review. So I compile a list of every single Kickstarter project that comes out, right? And I will put like almost every single project just goes on that list for us to look at. Almost every single one. But the one type of project that will more than not get kind of glossed over is every day there's like 10 projects for just like, here's an STL of a dwarf, or here's an STL of this, like, and I just, for some reason, sometimes we'll skip over them, but oftentimes some of them do make it through because they look extra cool.
Yeah.
And because this one does something that I really love, is it includes an adventure.
Yep.
It's not just like, oh, here's some models. It's like, hey, here's some models, and here's how you can use these models. And I like that. I like that a lot. That is smart thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Completely agree.
That's cool.
And again, it's not just models. It's paired with something that makes them appropriate. And instead of saying, I'm just gonna buy these models and see where they fit, it's I know exactly where they're gonna go. And I did finally find the Baylor image, and it is spinning on screen in its butt-cheeked glory. So yeah, I have to give this a roll. And I understand this is most of this is within 3D printing, so that is niche. So the base roll I'm going to give this is also a 16. But this is what I'm going to do. For the sheer amount of models, the beauty of the models, I'm going to give it a +1. And then for including the adventure, I'm going to give it another +1 to even it out to an 18.
Yep.
I
Fair.
think
It's
this
very good.
It's very good.
Above
it's
and
very
beyond
smart.
with that. Yeah.
And it's instead of them saying we have these beautiful models, let's just throw them up. They ensured that people had something to do with them. Beautiful. I'm going to back it because why not? I have the printer. I am going to use it, and I'm going to get some of these amazing models. So yeah, that is our first round of projects. We're going to take a quick break to hear from one of our hosts. Be back in a sec.
Hello, humanoids. I'm Halfling Hannah, the creator behind Halfling Hobbies. And here at Halfling Hobbies, you are going to find DM resources and only DM resources. We are here for dungeon masters, creating all sorts of things from puzzle templates and downloadable puzzles to DM binder pages, NPCs, loot cards, everything that you could possibly need to help give your game advantage. All of it comes with a healthy serving of food and drink, along with that special halfling hospitality. So grab a mug of ale and a slice of cake, sit back, relax, and dig in to Halfling Hobbies.
All right, guys, we're back. Got a couple more projects that we're going to talk about tonight. I want to talk to you guys about one-page adventures for D&D 5th edition, a book of colorful one-page adventures for D&D 5e, ranging from levels 1 through 9, each designed for a single session of play. So this is a thing in the D&D community, whether you know about it or not. One-page adventures. One-page adventures are extremely popular because it's basically, here's a sheet of paper and they put the entire adventure on it. And that's really cool. That's a really great system. They can put a map on there. They can put a bunch of like tables on there. They can put a story on there. And they're just like, we're going to condense the entire adventure to a single sheet of paper for you to run it off of. Great concept. Love it. Now, this is an entire book of one-page adventures. This is by a creator called EN Publishing, and these guys they've been around. This is their 20th project, and nothing has been 5,000 backers or anything like that, but they just consistently are D&D diehards that just keep putting out content, keep doing stuff, and just keep, you can tell that they love what they're doing. So, very, trusted name in the industry. They've got a bunch of projects under their belt, so they know what they're doing. Right now, this project is fully funded with over 700 backers, so it's doing very, very well. But one thing that I wanted to say about this is there are 25 one-page, one-shot adventures. Full color, and I love the fun detail and formatting that they put into this page. When I look at these pages, I'm like, aw, this is really, really cool. I love the way that they laid this out, the way that they put a little bit of character. Maybe you look at it and you're like, I don't like how off-kilter everything is, but I think it looks neat. It looks a little funky. Yeah, it looks great. And I read through a couple of the one-shot adventures, and I picked out a couple of my favorites. So I just want to share a couple of these just to give people an idea of what they're going to get. So, Mama Bear's Revenge. So one of the hardest things that you can ever do is run a level 1 adventure because your level 1 party can die so easily. And so they usually end up fighting the same 3 monsters because there's only 3 monsters that D&D made to fight level 1 players, and they're pretty boring. But I love this one. When an orc lumberjack accidentally kills a bear cub, the sentient animals of the forest declare war. Can the PCs reach Mama Bear and end the attacks before it's too late? Level 1. Great adventure. Love it.
I love it.
If you like that one, buckle up, guys. Flight of the Almost Dragons. Oh, no. A group of kobolds dream of flying, and they found a crashed airship. Can the PCs help them to repair it and fulfill their ambitions? Level 4 adventure. How great is that?
That's fun. I like these.
Yeah.
Croaking Sirocco. A magically warped land and a tribe of infighting bullywugs. 3 Bullywug leaders want to rule the tribe alone. Their feud has devastated the lands and threatens the frontier town of Deepwell via their entrapment of the trio of earth, air, and fire elementals in potent totems. Level 5.
Mhm.
Sounds like a great adventure.
Mhm,
Sounds like that would be a great thing to put into your world.
Mhm.
And here's my absolute favorite. The Lady of Rust. There's always that weird noble, right? The one that insists on wearing some obscure scent, or only eats pastries, or refuses to travel without their own carriage, or keeps rust monsters as pets. Eccentric people like Lady Philomena who keep rust monsters as pets. This peculiar woman's strange quirk has more motive than simply being unique and rich, however, and the adventurers will gradually uncover it as they investigate the situation with local silver mines that has the local economy off kilter. Level 6 adventure.
This was super
Great.
smart to
Cool.
include these on the page.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the difference between this and some of the projects that we looked at is you get to see exactly what you're getting.
Yep.
They have already done all the work. Like, this thing is
Mhm.
ready. Like, this
Yep.
is
Yep.
done. And
Yep.
it is I
And
mean,
can I say, like, I say that I make DM resources on Patreon, right? I make these one-page adventures for my patrons, and they are a ton of work. Like, to condense everything down to have a creative story and have it in a one page, that is a
That's a
ton of
lot.
work. So there's some really awesome creative ideas and a lot of work that went into this.
now you say, but Joe, I don't run one-shot adventures. I have a campaign of ongoing stuff. What this is a way to just have ideas, have ways to infuse your own world and your own thing with some of these stories. Fill some of your towns with some of these things. Just take the core idea and run it and have a fun one-shot every once in a while. You don't always have to be chasing the moon quest
Yeah.
or the main quest. Sometimes you need to get high with some hippie elves and go to Moonfest. Like, that's sometimes a
That's my
thing that
favorite. I
needs
love
to
that
happen.
adventure.
All right.
That was a great time.
This is a cool product, guys.
Mhm.
But even better is the price. $14 for the PDF. $14 for the PDF.
Wow.
And if you
That's
want
awesome.
the book, if you want the physical book, which who doesn't? $28.
Oh wow.
$28. Yeah.
very
nice.
affordable.
I mean, it's only 25 one-page adventures, but you're getting a lot for your money right there. I mean,
25
that
sessions. If
It's-
you don't,
that's
if you
about
can't figure out what to
$1.
do,
It's a little bit over $1 a page.
yeah.
yeah, it's like what, $1.10 a page, $1.10 an adventure. You can't pass that up.
No, that's great.
Got to
So-
roll it.
I was gonna say, what's the roll?
I'm gonna give this a 16, and I'm gonna give it a +1 because I like the way that they formatted the pages. I like how it's like they made it look a little bit cooler than just like, here's some information on a page. They have some character to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Alex, as a
Yeah.
graphic designer, is cringing a bit as he looks at it, but I think it's fun. I think it's
yeah.
cool.
It's
It
got
looks-
like a
it
comic
looks-
booky look to me, which I
Yeah.
don't dislike. I think if
I don't
that is
like
what you're
it.
going for, then you go for it. It's not my immediate cup of tea. However, for the amount of information that is on there, I can look beyond it.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it with that amount of information, for sure.
So 17 for one-page adventures.
Yeah, that's great. Good little Kickstarter there. Mine is, I'm so excited about this one, guys, like genuinely. Yep, it is Temples and Tombs. This is a thrilling pulp adventure RPG built on the Year Zero engine. This is for rough and tumble heroes in far-off worlds and legendary MacGuffins. So this is exactly what it sounds like. This is so that you can play Indiana Jones, or you can play Romancing the Stone, or any of those, like The Mummy, those classic kind of adventure movies. That's exactly what this is. So I love the intro to this, so I have to read it. It's terror, suspense, You will not believe the dangers in store for your intrepid heroes. Will they discover ancient secrets, lost civilizations, or priceless treasures? Will they escape treacherous villains, evil superpowers, and deathly traps? Temples and Tombs is a role-playing game devoted to creating the fast-paced adventures popularized in pulp magazines that led to films like Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Mummy, and Romancing the Stone, which I am 100% in for. I'm in. I am excited. This is amazing. So who wrote this? First of all, this is written by Christopher Gray. He is a staple in the indie RPG industry. He's an author. He's multiple times nominated for awards for his indie his like designs. He's also a novelist. Like, he's a solid author who has some really cool ideas. So he's the one who kind of came up with this, and they're using what's called the Year Zero engine. Have you guys ever heard of that?
I've not.
Okay, I'd never heard of it either. And if you click on the link that's on there, it takes you to like a really kind of janky website, which I read all of it because it's literally just one page that explains all of the rules. The rules are for free and available. Character sheets are for free and available, which is cool. But this is actually kind of a really cool system that I'm really excited to try out, because basically what you do is you roll d6s, and a 6 is a success and a 1 is a bane. So when you're trying to do something, you have a certain amount of dice in your pool, depending on how high your stat in that particular area is how many dice you get to roll. And the more 6s you have, the more you succeed. If you don't have any 6s, then you don't succeed. You can do what's called pushing your luck, which is you can re-roll any of your dice that were not 6s. However, if they are still not 6s, then something very bad happens. Which is a really, really cool way to do this. It's called running out of luck. This also runs on a system of archetypes, which as an English teacher, I love the idea of. Instead of classes, we're just dealing in archetypes of characters. For this one, he's kind of tweaked the Year Zero system, and he's made it more Indiana Jonesy feeling. So the archetypes here is you have the ace, the archaeologist, that's me. I'm playing that one. The cultist, the doctor, the genius, hunter, journalist, outlaw, professional adventurer, socialite, soldier, spy, and thief. And then he's made a kind of a tweaked version of the character sheet for Year Zero. And you can see how simple this is, which is why I really like it. Because a lot of times we're not huge fans when they switch up the system for no reason. In this case, I think that he does have a very good reason for using this system. And I think it works really well. Because this, like Indiana Jones, The Mummy, it's all about action, right? You don't really want to spend too much time in character development. I mean, Indiana Jones never changes. His character doesn't change. And we don't want him to. We love him, right? So that's what we're focusing on here. We're focusing on that action. And anything that can go, does go. Get rid of all of the extra attribute stuff. Get rid of all of the extra stats. And you just have 4. You have grit, wit, quick, and style. And from those, you get 3 things in each one of those, and everything you do kind of depends on that. So it's just a really pared down, really simple system. All you use is D6s, and you know that you succeed if you have a 6. You know you didn't if you don't have a 6. It's like the easiest system for a new RPGer to learn. And this might be my new introduction. I might create a one-shot introduction to RPGs with this system, because it is super simple. And I'm really stoked about it. So along with this little system, the archetypes, all that stuff, you also get tables for legendary and exciting MacGuffins. You get random tables for cinematic set pieces. You get tables for threats, cold open scenes. You get NPCs and creatures. And you get 3 adventures that are pre-written, ready to go to kind of get you into this system if you want. One is all about Amat's feather. So the Egyptian god who would use the feather to determine if your soul was worthy of going to the afterlife or not. The feather's actually real in this one. And so it's kind of like the Raiders of the Lost Ark, essentially. So you have to get to it before the bad guys. You also have, of course, the one that I will be playing, Shakespeare's Lost Works. That this little island off the coast of Nova Scotia, for some reason. Shakespeare has hidden some of his works there, and you have to race to get it. And then there's the Sky Zeppelin and the Canyons of Yesteryear is the last adventure that comes with it. So these just seem like classically good. Yeah, just cool. Like, I finally get to be Indiana Jones, guys. I finally do. And it's awesome.
No, I like this idea a lot. I think it was a good idea. You know, at first, again, we're not, you know, to us, we look at this and go, well, why didn't you try for 5e? Why didn't you do this? But I think you're right. Looking at this sheet, it makes sense. And with this style, you want to more focus on just those kind of aspects. And with all of those levels, this isn't like I'm a warrior and I have all of these different stats and all these types of things. Like, no, this is like
a backstory.
Yeah, this is more about like do the fun, cool stuff, be Indiana Jones. It's fun. You get in, get out. Like, it's a great time.
Yeah.
And I think that was a smart idea.
There's really not that much dice rolling in it either. The year zero system says you should only roll dice when it's really, really important. Otherwise, it's pretty much determined based on your stats that you have, and the GM generally allows or disallows for things, which is also an interesting system. Allows it to move along a lot quicker.
I think it makes a lot of sense because, you know, when you play D&D, you're playing a campaign that can last years, right? Years and years and years. And so you want that depth of character enrichment. This is a movie. This is like what, 2-3 sessions max to like this is almost like one shots. Like, if you put like a good 4 hours into this one, you could probably like move an entire story through in one
exactly.
That's
one
what I'm
session.
saying. This is a great intro. Yeah,
I mean,
this is a great intro to the like the hobby as a whole for RPGs.
Yeah, this is just like very wham bam, you know? One thing that intimidates me about this, right? I like running fantasy because I have a depth of knowledge when it comes to fantasy. I like running horror campaigns because I have a big depth of knowledge when it comes to horror. Things that scare me, right? Like, I am terrified of running a sci-fi campaign because I'm not that into sci-fi, so I don't have that much of a knowledge of like sci-fi. I like, all I know is like the movies that it mentioned at the beginning. That's all I know of Pulp Adventures.
No.
I would happily play in a campaign like this, but I would be way too intimidated to run.
Yeah, I'm in.
We find
I'm in. All right.
flying into Nova Scotia looking for the lost letters of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Like, 100%.
I just love that it's Nova Scotia, you know?
Nova Scotia.
I don't know why. I'm just so excited to go to Nova Scotia.
See, have any of you, this is an oldie, the movie Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You've seen that movie?
No.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's an old Jude Law movie, and it's got that. This also falls into that, and it's like a combination of like futuristic meets Indiana Jones. And for some reason, that is what jumped into my head first, even along with the Indiana Jones. But I feel like I've seen so many of those movies where, Joe, I'm on the other side of that coin, where I'm like, oh, I would add some like twist where a guy spins around in his chair. It's like, I've been expecting you.
Yeah.
All of these types of archetypes of different villains. Now, this is a lot of fun. Hannah, what are you thinking about for the roll?
Roll, I gave this a 16 plus 1 because I love Indiana Jones, and you had me at the Pulp Adventures. But also the best value on here, $35 gets you a print version and early access to the PDF.
Oh, wow.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal for a whole adventure books with 3 adventures to them. I'm down. So I gave this a 17 total, best value 35, totally worth it. I think this is so cool, and I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. Yeah, this seems like a lot of fun. I feel like if I were to start being a DM, I would start with something like this to like get my friends into the idea, as you said. Okay, so I'm gonna take us into back into the fantasy realm where Joe, you feel a little bit more comfortable. But I'm going to introduce something different, and this is a module that covers new classes, character options, lots of potions and poisons, along with a Scholar's Footprints adventure. And this is Alchemy and Poisoncraft. And this is super interesting because I personally play as a bard, and this is my first character that I've ever played, and it's been a lot of fun. But something that, looking at a lot of these types of characters, there's nothing really that's like, I get it, you need certain items for spells and things like that, but I think what this does is it introduces alchemy and poisoncraft. So quite literally creating potions, creating poisons, and it introduces all these guidelines for these characters and how to create. So it's introducing a brand new style of character that people can play as. And this is for something, maybe they're sitting down to the table, they have all their potion cards, they have all their poison cards, and they're the kind of person that's kind of sneaky in the back and like, okay, I'm going to be a guest at this dinner and I'm going to sneak around and I've made this poison and I'm going to help the group by poisoning this person. It adds this whole level of new interactions that's super interesting to me, which is why I really wanted to highlight it. It's going to be no longer than 200 pages, and the Scholar's Footprints, which is part of their kind of adventure for this, is going to be about 70 pages. Now, they actually have a demo booklet that you can actually take a look at that shows exactly what the character is. For example, it's a full PDF. It shows the new class, True Alchemist. It shows all of their stats, creating a true alchemist, the class features. So they have all of this already ready for you, so you can click through and see, well, is this a new character that I would like to maybe offer my players? Or maybe I'm a player that says, hey, or I'm a DM that says, hey, here are all your options. Also, I'm adding this one. And, I'll take a look at lists and say, wow, this is actually really cool. There's this whole thing of preparing concoctions, storing concoctions, learning concoctions, arcane forgery, all these different things that introduce different colleges too. It's all these really, really cool aspects to this new character. They even have a YouTube
I really
video.
like this. I have characters all the time who ask, can I make poison? Can I make poison? I was like, your character wouldn't know how to make poison. No, you can't make poison. Well, this is perfect for that. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, no, this is super fun, and I think it's a super good idea for a character. So Scholar's Footprints, what it comes with is it essentially introduces the creating of potions and alchemy and poisoncraft. It's a level 1 to 6 adventure, and it will grow into further stories, which is a really, really good idea that allow for people to expand on that character. So I think that's a really, really good idea. And there's this really great book that comes with this, and it has 30 potions, 30 poisons, 30 alchemical substances, 30 herbs and components, 60 alchemical. So it's introducing all of these things as well.
I like that. Yeah, I like that, having a list of herbs that they can forage for things, because I don't know, I'm not an herbologist.
So it's introducing all of these as well. So it's not just saying, okay, now you got to figure out what potions. It's introducing everything you might need for this.
That's cool.
So I think this is super, super fun. Joe, what do you think?
I think it is the type of product that is, if you want to be the type of GM that wants to have a fully open world, then you need to have resources like this in your library. And I think that that's super important, right? This is a dungeon master's like toolkit type of creation. And I like that, right? It's just more tools for the DM to add to their world. The question is, are you a DM that wants to get into the nitty gritty, or do you just want to house rule like, yeah, you could make a poison out of that. Sure, why not, right? Like, it depends on what type of DM you are. So I think at the end of the day, if you have players that are super interested in this, if this is something that has a particular interest of you, or if you just want to include a really cool resource in your library, this is something that there's no harm in picking something like this up and adding it.
You know what I'm envisioning here is in Skyrim, how you can make potions, but you get ingredients, but you don't know what they do, so you have to like eat them. That's what I'm envisioning. Like just these herbs, and just put them everywhere in my world and have my players have to figure out what to do with them.
That and so
I think that would be so much fun.
I think that's a really good idea, but also maybe a place where, so I'm not 100% sure how this works. So correct me if I'm wrong. So is there an opportunity to pick up a subclass, to learn a subclass?
At level, most of the time it's like level 3.
Okay.
You pick your archetype or whatever.
Yeah, so this might be a really cool idea to kind of, you could introduce this as a new subclass where you can learn potion craft.
See, what I was thinking with this was this would be like an expertise.
That could be too.
So if you have an herbalist kit, you could actually you can have your proficiency with your herbalist kits, but then when you have an expertise, you can choose to like go into poisoncraft instead.
Yeah.
That's how I would have looked at it. But it's a whole subclass. I mean, because they have character builds, right? So it would make sense to have it be a subclass too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would make sense. You could do it either way, so you could have some options with it.
Like, say for example, like you're running a story and they go into this potions, maybe it's something like, oh, I would like to learn how to make this, and maybe you as a DM can go, well, would you like to learn full potion craft or poison create? Like, yeah. And then now they'll have like this
secret society. Secret society.
It's like this whole new thing. So I found it super interesting. Joe, what did you want to say?
I love it.
Oh, I'm just smiling like this because I'm looking at Hannah's next campaign and it's funny.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to give this a roll. For the sheer amount of work that it takes to come up and balance an entire new class of character, I think this takes a lot of work, and they already have it available to you. Not only that, but they introduce a story that allows you to introduce that, but also all of the items and types of potions that supplement that character. I think this is super cool, and I think it's a great new addition. And personally, I think it would be awesome to just have... I think the more types of characters we can get in tabletop RPGs, I think the better, because there are so many different types of players, and in my opinion, more the merrier. There could be people that feel differently about that, but that's how I feel. So I'm going to give this a solid, just right, no additions on here, an 18.
I love it. I absolutely am in love with it and want it. Desperately want it. I think it's cool.
Well, now that we are a little over halfway through, we're going to hear from a product that is near and dear to our hearts, and we'll be back in about a minute.
The Wanderer's Guide is a 50-page compendium designed to enhance your fantasy RPG campaigns. Immersive, beautiful maps and artwork by Andrew Bosley. Dry erase pages for quick editing and changes as your campaign evolves. An abundance of tokens to add more character, landmarks, features, and customization to your campaign. An interactive NPC system for adding lots of variety and plot hooks for the Game Master to engage the players. Artwork featuring fun details and story elements to enhance collaborative storytelling, world building, and spark the imagination of the players and the Game Master. The Wanderer's Guide. Your world, your adventure.
All right, last couple projects. Here we go. And honestly, we're saving the best for last. Maybe we are. Maybe we're not. I don't know. No, I'm excited about this project. This is a cool project. And honestly, this is a project that kind of inspired me a little bit to get into the RPG creation world. This is Roll and Play, the Fantasy Character Kit. Create awesome characters or NPCs for your fantasy role-playing games for players and GMs of all fantasy tabletop RPGs, including 5e. So that's the description there. This is a product by Sam Bartlett, and he has rebranded because he launched his first campaign, which was just Roll and Play, which was a Dungeon Master's book of just tables. It was just tables and tables and tables.
Yeah.
And he had over 7,000 backers. And I actually spoke to him around the time I was working on the Wanderer's Guide, just doing a little collaborating, talking to different people in the industry and stuff like that. And he was like, I had no idea that it was going to get this big. So he has actually rebranded as Roll and Play Press. So good for him. So you might look at that and be like, oh, this is the first created. But he actually did do a previous, but he wanted to rebrand his Kickstarter campaign with a company account as opposed to his own personal account under Sam Bartlett. Totally understandable.
Yeah.
So just know this is not a first campaign from Sam. So let's talk a little bit about this project, okay? It is fully funded and has several thousand backers already. Over 2,000, over $100,000 raised.
Wow.
So this book is 168 pages of random tables and content generators.
Wow.
168 pages of tables. Me and Hannah just spent a couple of weeks working on 4 panels for a GM screen of tables.
Yeah.
And it was
There's a lot of back and
work.
forth there too. Yeah.
It was work. This is 168 pages of stuff. So I'm curious, like how great is the content up front, and how great is the I kid you, but we made the same joke about the 100 NPCs, and we were like, you're gonna get to like NPC number like 85, and it's be like John,
Jerry.
right?
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry.
Jerry
like,
the butcher. He's nothing interesting.
I don't.
Yeah, he's done. John, Jacob, and Jingleheimer.
So no, they show off a good amount of the content that they have in this book. But what this is this is a book for creating characters and NPCs. So they have 13 different subclasses and subtypes that they divide into chapters, and each one of those has 13 dedicated chapters to it, split amongst all of these pages. So they have so basically they divided up artificers and tinkerers, barbarians and mercenaries, bards and performers, clerics and war priests, druids and geomancers, fighters and soldiers, monks and martial artists, paladins and holy knights, rangers and hunters, rogues and thieves, sorcerers and wild mages, warlocks and shamans, wizards and enchanters, and the next stretch goals is blood hunters and mutants. Woo! That is a lot.
Take a breath.
Archetypes. Yeah.
They just kept going.
That is a ton of archetypes to have in this. And basically, it's like you can open it up to the cleric thing, and you can find sacred rites, and there's a 20 die table for that, or proverbs that they can quote.
That's the one that I saw earlier that was like, I better not interrupt, but there's proverbs. You pick one from each table and you make a 4-part proverb. It's amazing.
And there's familiars for your rangers and charming spell books for your wizards. I mean, it just has basically what this is this is just something to sit down, cozy up with, and just like come up when you're doing your GM prep. This is just a way to come up with a bunch of fun ideas for NPCs, because what it does is it gets your brain working while also being a resource for creating new characters if you're not a dungeon master. So this is great if you're a player and you want a resource to kind of help you flesh out your character, and maybe you don't feel like writing the entire backstory yourself. It basically is, because what is a table if not an idea sparker? So this is 168 pages of just idea sparks is what it is.
Yeah. This is something for me to throw at my players when they haven't spent enough time with their character. I'm just like, do something here. Figure it out.
Or Hannah gets 4 books for her players because she's about to introduce a TPK. So she's like, hey guys, you're gonna need this
gentle reminder. Or to that one that I'm just done with, be like, hey bud, I got you something.
So very cool. I mean, this is just a great product.
Also really helpful that it's by class, because my biggest complaint with books of, how do I want to say that? Books that are nothing but tables, there it is that I don't know where to look for things or what to do with things. When you broken it up by classes like this, it makes it way easier to find and use them.
Yeah, I mean, and from a designer standpoint, looking at these, they've designed it really, really well in terms of layout, and it's really understandable, and they have these really cool uses of, charts and scrolls. Like the quotable proverbs are all on their own individual scrolls, which is such like a cute idea. And along with that, I love the art style. I think it really, really fits what they're going for. It's really, really approachable. It's not too like heavy where, for example, sometimes if you open a D&D book or anything like that, it's just really long chunks of pages that end up kind of looking like a textbook. Please open your history book to page 32. And that's really what they've done here, is go the opposite direction and make this really easy, really clean, really easy to follow, and really well organized.
Small and digestible.
Exactly.
I love it.
So super useful product, a huge amount of content, super useful.
Great idea.
No reason to. So
how much is it?
I do have an issue with the price, and I want to talk about the issue with the price. And look, this is one of my only critiques about the entire thing. So I'm backing this, and at $23, I'm getting the book. But they also have a tier for $42, so it's basically double the price. And as far as I can tell, all you're getting is a special cover. And it's not even like a hardbound book. It's the same book with a special cover. And I don't care what the cover of my book looks like. So
yeah, that's not.
why would
wouldn't
I
say
pay?
that.
Limited. It's limited edition.
Yeah,
Joe.
but
Yeah.
is that
That's
value
why.
$20 more?
Limited. I'm special if I buy this.
Yeah, so my
Special for
personal
$20.
recommendation is back it for $23 and
Yeah,
just get the regular
yeah.
cover. Unless you see, I mean, the other covers look great,
They do.
but I just don't care that much. Like, it's gonna, like, all I'm gonna see is the wire spine when it's on my shelf, so it's not like the cover means a whole lot to me. That is also the reason I do not buy the special edition of the D&D books when they come out. Like, when WotC releases their special edition books, I just buy the regular one, not the special edition one. Even if it's the same price, I'm like, I don't, it doesn't matter to me.
I do like it when, this is totally off topic, but sometimes D&D will give special edition covers to brick and mortar stores that you can't get online, and they're the same price. And that, I think, is cool to encourage people to go to brick and mortar stores. That's what I did with Tasha's. So I have the alternate cover of Tasha's because I am loyal to changing hands if you're in Joplin.
Anyway. Straight 17. No
Yeah,
modifiers,
great.
no nothing. Just so solid hit, solid product, and I like it a lot. And so now we're gonna talk about a really weird project.
What? No, don't set it up like that.
I'm sorry.
It's
We're
okay.
gonna talk about an amazingly weird project.
There it is. That I will take. Okay, so we were talking about this during break. This is a bit off the wall, but it was so, like, I was reading through it, and there's so much potential here that I couldn't pass it by. I just couldn't do it. It's called 5e Inspired by the National Parks. And what this is, I mean, just the top little quote, is it true that there's a primordial below Yellowstone? Isn't that a cool idea? Is there? Can I kill it? So this is 20 encounters in U.S. national parks with battle maps, monsters, and voice acting. We'll talk about that. But this is literally exactly what it sounds like. And there's not a whole lot on the page that's necessarily super eye-catching. This was created by John LeMay, who's just a, thing.
There is something very eye-catching. If
Okay,
Alex would scroll down to the download the prototype with the page that's cycling through, and when the encounters page pops up, that is my favorite monster I've ever seen in my entire life. I love it so much. I want that in my life so badly. It is the best creature I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it is. It kind of feels like a Pokemon, doesn't it?
It does look a little Pokemon-ish.
It does kind of feel like.
It looks like if they made a xenomorph a Pokemon. If they Pokefied a xenomorph. That's what it looks like.
Okay. So
I'm
look.
done.
At least it wasn't a
Sorry.
buttocks. At least we're not talking about some.
We're not talking about any glorious cheeks, you know?
Yeah.
No glorious cheeks in this one. I cannot believe he said that. Oh my god. Okay, so what is 5e National Park? It is literally just like Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but the setting is inspired by the different national parks. Now, he doesn't. It's a super cool idea. And like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you don't include things like that in campaigns as much as maybe you should. Like these awe-inspiring moments where you're looking out across something like the Grand Canyon, or you come into like the majestic beauty of something like El Capitan in Yosemite, you know? We don't have as many of those moments. And in the little adorable video at the very top, he talks about that. And he's like, you're traveling through an elven forest. And his little puppet party is like, an elven forest again? And it's like, you know, that's fair. Maybe I do that. But so this is really, it's a cool idea. I think it lacks a little bit in the execution. One, it doesn't tell us which national parks, which is other than Baghdad, I think. National Park? Is that the one that is? I've never been there, so I didn't know for sure where that was located.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. But there's one national park that all of the examples are modeled after, and if you want to download like that whole prototype, you can. He makes it completely available and free on this Kickstarter, and if you go to Shard, he has it all uploaded on Shard for you as well, so that you can look at it. Yeah, super cool. Like basically one whole national park he's already done, and he's giving you for free so that you can look at it. The maps are pretty cool, like, honestly. He's taken pictures of the actual national park and given them to an artist, and the artist has taken that rendering to create battle maps of the actual national parks, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what he does with the other ones. And there's a whole bunch of different points of view from them. So you have the aerial view, and then you have one that's down on the ground view. So you have all of these different crevices and boulders and things that obscure our cute little Pokemon monster. Joe?
The Pokemon monster has a GIF. I'm going down the page.
Yes, he just takes off. He's just gone.
It's the best thing ever. I'm so happy right now.
Wait, where is it?
Just keep going
Just
down.
keep
Oh my
going.
gosh!
Just leave it there.
Okay, no, I need this as a Pokemon. I love
thought
this
we would
thing.
talk about the meerkat riding a dire sheep. There's a dire bighorn sheep.
Can we ride this thing? Because it looks awesome.
We're just gonna turn this into like a gotta catch 'em all campaign of these different monsters from these national parks. And I'm totally down with that. But here's another thing that, okay, so he has, and I've never seen this before, but he has a voice actor read the different parts of like describing the park.
Huh.
And yeah, I just don't know how useful that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I normally just read that. I feel like it might be weird to hit a button for the voice actor to say it and me be sitting there with my players like,
Yeah, I think, well, that's kind of the part, that's a big part of a DM's job, right? So I get the idea and wanting to say, well, it's really cool we've hired a voice actor that kind of, it also kind of takes the fun out of it. So I get where they're coming from by introducing this idea, but I think if you're looking at what DMs want to do, that's part of the role, right? So I think you're kind of
that's part of
taking a
what we
little bit of that
do.
away.
And I'm no voice actor, but nobody's complained yet, so
Yeah.
you know.
But here's the thing: you can decide to play it or not at the same time.
Exactly. Oh yeah, there he is. There he is. Take off, little buddy. Live your life. Be free. Does he have wings? He doesn't have wings.
No,
he just jumps really
he
high.
Just jumps. He's got those. He's got the hops.
I'm so glad that they did that. That just makes the page
I wish
so
that was
good.
higher
Why
up.
isn't that at the top?
Wait. Each 5e national park will include a monster GIF.
Yes.
So
you'll get more.
The GIF.
Yep, you'll get more, Joe. There will be more. 20 more from.
Oh my gosh! What?
All the
That's
national
actually,
parks.
I do really like that idea. I think that's fun.
But what is this
It will
campaign?
derail the campaign for a solid, like, it's derailing our stream right now to have this gift. Could you imagine showing this in a campaign?
I think this would be fun. I think it'd be fun.
Okay. So they're okay. So that's another one of those that I'm like, I don't know about that part. But the idea the
Yeah.
idea, you know?
The
And I
idea is
don't know
strong.
if you guys, so I am such a nerd. I am such a nerd. I love history and I love like the history of the national parks. And I don't know if you've ever like read like the Indian lore for those areas, but there's some messed up things that are a part of the lore of the national parks in these areas,
Yeah.
like ghosts that drown people in the lakes at Yellowstone, and like there's so much like
Where's
these he's there somewhere. He's got to be there somewhere.
See, I feel like I would have liked that more. Like
Yes.
that.
That's what I was going to say. I would have rather, instead of having the encounters, like obviously the maps, we need the maps, but instead of the encounters, I would have loved to see like a mini setting book for each national park that included those original lore that then you could blend into like this fantasy setting and atmosphere as well. Which he talks about blending in the fantasy lore to it. So I don't know how much is going to be in there. Again, seems like this is a fairly new Kickstarter creator who's not really done this. Which, by the way, Mr. John, thank you so much for your service. He's 25 years in the United States Army. So thank you, sir, for that. Love that. So if nothing else, support your vets, man. Come on. It's awesome thing. So I'm excited about the concept. There are parts of it that I'm like, but then there are parts of it that I'm like, this could be so cool with a little direction and a little like specialization. This is such a cool idea.
I look at this and there's just, it's like, hey, he got some art. That's awesome. It's really kind of all over the place. The I don't know how much I trust like a printed physical product when the graphic design of the page is so random, which is something. There's a lot of things that are on here, like the voice acting, that make me go, what?
Yeah.
Which, hey, try something new, go for it, you know, like go for it, go for it, guy. But like I kind of look at it, I'm like, I feel like a lot of this was put together without analyzing what has made other projects successful.
Right.
And
yes.
you know, and granted, you know, swing for the fences, try some new stuff, but I feel like this maybe could have used a few more eyes on it, for like a few more professional eyes on it before it went live. I cannot tell you at all what this shard package is, because I've read the blurb about it on the page and they're really highlighting it. I don't know what it is.
I didn't even know what shard was. I thought, you know, I didn't know what shard was until I went and looked at it. I was like, oh, okay.
Cool idea.
I think
idea. I think it could be better executed.
I think
but there's
so
so
it's
much
on its way.
Potential.
There's a huge
Yes.
potential to the idea.
Here's
I think
what
the
I'm
strongest
thinking.
part is the maps right now. That's where I'm thinking.
Yes. So there's a $3,000 goal for it. He has not hit it yet. He's at 17. 67 backers. He still has 22 days to go. It's entirely likely that he does end up hitting it. But what I would really like to see, if he doesn't, I would love to see him go back to the drawing board, throw out these things that aren't necessarily what game makers are looking for, and really hone in, because you have, John, if you're watching, you have a great idea. I'm 100% on board with this idea. I love it. But I think we need to hone down, and we need to get rid of some things.
I think there needs to be more of a clear, concise vision for this product, because right now it seems a bit too all over the place.
Yes, exactly. But
that gift, that
can we see it one more time, Alex?
That monster
Can we
gift.
see him fly?
I do
Chef's
like
kiss.
the gifts. Beautiful. So yeah.
Oh, fly away, little buddy.
Put the GIF higher on the page. In fact,
So that
make make the main image the GIF. That you would double
I
your
thought you
backers.
went higher on the page, and I scrolled up, and it looks like he jumps off my screen.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it does. See, here's the thing. There are a lot of really great elements, and I would echo you, Hannah, in saying that there's a lot of great elements here, and there's a solid chance you do hit the goal. But John, I think if you don't, I think you do have a solid idea here, and narrowing it down and solidifying a couple of the elements, maybe paring back some others.
And if nothing else, it's given me some really great ideas to like Yosemite ideas and some different things to put into the campaign, which is awesome. But if you do want to go ahead and support this, I mean, it's really inexpensive. $6 gets you the was it the PDF? Previous updates. I mean, it gets you everything. $6 gets you pretty much everything. $12 gets you 2 versions of it. So it goes up from there. So if you want everything for 50, Superfan gets 50, but yeah, $6 gets you everything that you need. So definitely worth it to support that. So, and my role on this is I love the concept, but we missed the mark on so many things here. I wanted to highlight it because it's a really interesting concept, but I think we're looking at probably a 12 here on overall for everything.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So there you go.
All right. So, I haven't had the opportunity.
Follow that, Alex.
I haven't had the opportunity in quite a long time to be the resident dice goblin, and boy, did I get the opportunity today. Super excited to show the Demi-Lich dice, hollow metal RPG dice. These are so cool. These are so cool, and I think I'm going to order a set because my bard is based on the devil, and these look straight out of hell. I love them. They have these amazing skulls that form the borders.
Oh my gosh.
They have tons of different features. They have all of these. They're hollow. They have different finishes. The silver ones, the cursed copper, beguiling brass, gold of the grave, ancient catacombs, forbidden treasure.
Catacombs.
Those are
ancient catacombs. Is the one I like.
The blood tithe, soul trapped steel, frozen fear, prismatic phylactery. I like the prismatic.
Yeah. Or toxic.
Toxic terror.
Sorry,
These
got ahead. I got ahead.
Cool.
Oh,
they're so cool.
These are badass. These are cool. How do they have anything about how balanced they are?
That's the question. You know, it's kind of tough, especially with
because I have to have
hollowed.
weighted dice.
Here's the thing. I would hope that these have been tested because I'm also a product designer, and looking at this, the size of the number is going to affect your weight because each side will have a certain amount of metal based on the shape of the number. So even if it's off by a tiny bit, that's going to make a difference. So I hope that that's been taken into account because you never really know. Maybe the density of that doesn't make that huge of a difference, but it's something to consider. I still think these are super unique, and if I brought these out at the table, people would be like, these are so cool. Oh my god. And for my character, I would get so immersed with these dice. So
hollow dice are a thing too. It's not like they don't exist anywhere else. No. So there's what I'm saying is that there is a tested standard for hollow dice.
Yeah, so for $50, you get a set of Demi-Lich dice in any unlocked color, Kickstarter exclusive battle maps. So you actually get battle maps in this, which I've been trying to search through the page, and I haven't been able to find them, to be quite honest. And I'm not sure, and that's something I would put up as a suggestion, is to include, if you have, for example, there's an exclusive Demi-Lich dungeon digital module, 5e compatible stat block. There's all of these things that I haven't seen on the page. And I do want to point that out because, again, the dice are probably enough to just get you the people that you need. And obviously it has, because they've already passed their $5,000 goal with $8,600 and 167 backers. And I'm probably going to back it because I want these dice. These are really cool. But if I'm getting all of that stuff, I would like to see it on the page.
Yeah, a little bundle picture that has all the things there. Yeah, that'd be nice.
If you just want the D20, which honestly is a solid option as well, that's $15, which I might back from there because, to be honest, my D20 is what I use the most.
It'd be a cool gift.
It'd be a cool gift, and I think $15 is a solid value for that. Joe, did you want
After
to say
your DM kills you,
Yeah.
you just
No,
give
I
him that
just-
D20.
I'm just looking at these. I like these so
They're
much. These
cool.
this I
They're
mean,
really pretty.
good job for a first time creator to like make
Yeah.
something really cool and have a
Mhm.
bunch of people really like it. Like it feels good. It feels
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Support creators. Support creators.
Absolutely. So this is what I think
Cool.
in terms of this product. I think they look great. I think if you're getting more, I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit by saying what you get but not including them in the page. And to be honest, I don't know how much you need all of those extra things. Especially when you're not even really talking about them. So I am going to give this a 17, but I'm actually going to give it a -1 because there's really nothing about those on the page. And as a person backing that, and if I'm going to back 50 and you're promising these, I definitely want to see it. So that would be my suggestion for this. They are amazing looking dice, and I will probably be backing this myself. But that would be my suggestion, is to include those on the page, and I think these are super great, and I would be super excited to get them myself. So we have
those are cool.
We have just hit the point of our fun finds now that we have presented all of our projects, and this is where we have scoured the internet for, you know, any of fun kind of stuff that we found. But as Joe mentioned in the beginning, this is week 3 and final of Zine Quest, correct?
Zine
Yep.
Quest.
This is going to be our last time covering some awesome zines that you should totally back.
Sad.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
Because,
We did so many of them, though, guys. If you haven't seen our Zine Quest episode, we did
did a lot.
30 of them, and it was really fun, and you should totally see it. It was
Definitely.
fun.
Which
that out.
the kind of sad thing about zines though is that like like to be in Zine Quest, so you're supposed to run your campaign for only 14 days, which means that by time like anybody goes back and watches that, all those campaigns are over, which kind of, you know, but still really cool content.
Yeah. So, Joe,
But
you want to lead us
people
off?
Just tell people not to go watch our channel. Let's show.
People
They really can't get back it anyway. It's fine.
people really like our format for Zine Quest, which is where each of us is going to get 2 minutes to talk about our zine, and at the end of that 2 minutes, we have to decide if we have convinced the other 2 members whether or not our campaign is like worth backing. Okay, so we get 2 minutes to convince the other people. So we will have a 2-minute pitch, and then we will all give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So I am ready to talk about my Zine Quest. Are you ready, Alex?
Ready.
All right. Our God is dead. Your God has died, but nobody else needs to know that. Fake miracles and fool the masses in this comedic fantasy role-playing game. When you're a cleric and your God dies, you're basically nobody anymore, so you're not going to give that up, so you have to come up with a ruse and fool everybody. This is a GM-less RPG that is played in one shot with no prep at all, so we are playing this, but it is played in 3 acts. The first act is when we all collaborate and put together the first act is we decide what our God is, what he's about, how we go about our day being pious and, you know, serving our deity. The second act is when we have to scheme and hatch plans because we woke up and our God is dead. What are we going to do now? So we have to come up with a way to fake our God still being alive, but it is a simple D6 success and failure system. So things start to get screwed up really fast. And the third act is where all of our lies come up to catch us and bite us in our big old butt cheeks because we have we have screwed over the population. Okay.
Oh my
this
God.
is so funny. It is supposed to be comedic. It is supposed to basically you're basically creating your own inevitable disaster as clerics of a god that they wake up one day and they're like, oh crap, he's dead.
Oh no.
What do we do now? Right?
Nothing
And
else.
I just love, I think the artwork that they have for this is really fun. They're basically ready to go for it. I'm so excited about this. The game is basically ends when you decide what the best ending to your story is, with the most comedic, like over the top end scene ending. So 2 minutes, that's it. We're gonna vote.
Joe,
we gotta vote.
Joe,
we gotta
Joe,
vote. And then you can
Joe.
handle it. We gotta vote.
Okay, we'll vote and then I want to hear what Hannah has to say.
Okay.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So imagine a D&D campaign where you get to level 20, right? And the only thing you can fight at level 20 is a god, because you're basically gods yourselves, and then you kill this god, and then the next session you pull this out and you tell your players that they serve this god who's now dead, and
they have to deal with the consequences now. Oh my god, that's a great idea.
This has a lot of fun. I'm super excited because this is a one-shot, like 3-arc GM-less, no prep adventure. So I have backed this, and I think that this might be something that if we decide to start doing some like live play sessions, this is something that we can play together. I'm super pumped about how this might turn out.
That'd be so fun. I'm so down. That's awesome. I saw that one on the list. I was like, oh man, he's gonna do that one? And then, yeah, that was so good.
Great.
So good. Okay, my turn. Okay, timer. I know I need to go to sleep. Hold on. Okay. My phone's like, you're past bedtime. I'm like, I know, I got zines to do, okay? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Guerrilla Warfare. Talking Apes for 5E. It had to happen. It had to happen as soon as I saw it. It's literally, this zine it's got bananas everywhere, first of all, because that's amazing. But it's literally Talking Apes for 5e. It's the stats. It's the I don't have anything else to say. It's just, you have giant apes. So you have different kinds. So you have White Pongo. You have Tomb Raiders. You have Predators. You have the Law of the Jungle. You have the Apocalypse. I can't get through it. You have the Amulet of Koba. And so there's these different things that these giant apes do, and you can just put them in your 5e campaign. So if your players are going through the jungle, maybe suddenly they see giant apes, and they're like, oh, it's a monkey.
Gosh.
And the monkey's like, how dare you call me a monkey? And I'm just picturing so many misadventures with giant talking apes. And you could even, if you really wanted to, you could even allow this to be a playable player class. So you could have a PC of a giant talking ape.
That might have just won me over. That might have just won me over, because I would do that.
Yep, and you could, because, I mean, you're giant ape, nobody's gonna accept you, so you have, like, this backstory with the other player where you have to pretend to be a dumb monkey, and it's super demeaning, and you're super upset about it all the time, and you go back into your tent, you're like, ugh, I hate this world. Like, just super dramatic.
Want banana.
That's demeaning. Okay, anyway, so it's literally, I don't know what to say about it, but I'm so excited. Here we go. What do you want to be? Do you want to be a giant talking ape? 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna
yeah.
This is what Zine Quest is for, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is the purpose. This is the content that I am here for. It's giant talking apes. Guerrilla Warfare PDF. Pick it up for $5. Heck yes. 100% on board. Printed version, right. $10.
Alex, tell us about the last zine that Roll for Review is going to talk about in 2021.
The last zine, Agents of BAMF. About super agents in a world of weird science, mystical threats, and super villainy. Agents of BAMF is a tabletop role-playing game, a heartfelt homage to the super spy agencies of comics S.H.I.E.L.D., Uncle, BPRD, MI-13, Project Cadmus, and Checkmate, and also a little bit of G.I. Joe in there too. You have all of these amazing characters, the capes, and this is one of the phrases, the capes can't always be there. That's why there's BAMF. It stands for Bureau of Abnormalities, Mutations, and the Fantastic. So first of all, I love that. Their foes range from organized meta crime groups like Nest with its legion of jumpsuited minions to the Sky Pirates, a high-tech criminal syndicate equipped with jetpacks. Worldwide network of agents, BAMF stands ready to handle situations too weird, spooky, or otherworldly for the cops or the army. This is also kind of a Hellboy vibe too. So if you like Hellboy, you like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you like Umbrella Academy, you like any of these shows, I think this zine is for you. It seems so fun. There's so many super unique characters, and it seems like an absolute great time. 3 new classes, the Combat Medic Commando Specialist. I think this seems like a super fun zine. Creating your own character and coming up with all these weird superheroes and fighting against the villains that you know from your weird superhero shows like Hellboy and Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
is
cool.
The Agents of BAMF.
Oh, I love it.
What do we think? 3, 2, 1.
It's cool.
This is
Yep.
fun.
I love the art.
I love the art.
Yeah.
And you know what? There was a Kickstarter last year for a big old RPG for Hellboy, like Hellboy themed RPG, big old thing. This will whet your appetite. This will ease you into it, because I love that stuff. I love that paranormal investigation stuff.
And they're so clever. The more you read this page, the more clever like the little stuff sprinkled in is. Like Fiend Fellow. Yeah, we made that joke. Yeah. I was just like, that's good.
Yeah. So,
guys, I'm a little sad that Zine Quest is over.
Yeah, me too. We have next February to look forward to.
We do.
I never thought I'd say that. Nothing good happens in February except Zine Quest.
And maybe Roll for Review will have a zine to put out.
That's the goal.
We'll see.
Yeah, figure this out.
Guys, we are 5 episodes in. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Please tell me that you're gonna name this episode Balix Buttcheeks. Please. Please.
Oh my gosh.
You need to start naming them just something random that's in the episode. That's really weird.
I'll name it Buttcheeks of Justice.
Yes.
Bouncing, bubbling
done.
butt cheeks.
Something like that.
So many different names. But this has been Roll for Review.
I was like, we're still live?
We're still live.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're still live.
We are still live. Thank you all so much for joining us on episode 5. This will be uploaded if you missed any part of it to our YouTube channel, or if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, hello, and definitely come to our Twitch channel to watch every other Tuesday where we sit down, collect these TTRPG campaigns, and review just like this video, and maybe some new content in the future that we're working on. We'll see what happens. So thank you all so much, and we will see you all in the next video.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.